Good morning, everyone. My name is Jeffrey and I will be presenting on behalf of my team for our case study under SEMM 4902, Engineering Professional Practice. Our topic today is the Putra Heights gas pipeline explosion, a case of engineering leadership in crisis. This explosion was more than just an unfortunate accident. It was a preventable disaster, rooted in poor leadership, outdated safety systems, and communication breakdowns. Through this case, we will explore how engineers are not only technical experts, but must also be leaders, communicators, and ethical guardians of public safety. This case study was completed by a team of four: myself, Jeffrey bin Osman Tan, Muhammad Aiman bin Baharuddin, Noraisha binti Rahaimi, and JIAHE. We have spent weeks researching the facts, reviewing technical data, and connecting this incident to what we have learned in this course, especially in areas of professional ethics, engineering responsibility, and risk communication. Let's move into the heart of this case, the moment when leadership failed and the consequences that followed. On April 1st, 2025, the peaceful morning in Putra Heights turned into chaos. A gas pipeline beneath a residential area ruptured and exploded, sending a fireball into the sky. Homes were destroyed, families were injured, and fear gripped the community. But here's the real tragedy. This explosion could have been prevented. As engineers, we must ask, why wasn't the pipeline shut off immediately? Why were excavation works allowed so close to it? Why was there no clear chain of responsibility? The answer lies in the lack of engineering leaderships. A proactive engineering leader would have flagged the pipeline as high risk due to shallow burial, enforced clear supervision and roles among subcontractors, insisted on automated shut-off valves, and communicate risk to the public. Leadership isn't just about holding a title, it's about foreseeing danger, making unpopular but necessary decisions, and always putting public safety first. Now, let's talk about one of the most damaging aspects of this case. Communication failure during a crisis. Right after the explosion, the public received conflicting messages. Police said there was an excavator involved. The chief minister initially said he saw no machinery. Engineers suggest corrosion, while others blame digging. To the public, it looks like no one had the full story, or worse, that someone was hiding the truth. As engineers, we have often seen as overly technical and detached. We focus on soil temperature, metal fatigue, pressure data, but in a crisis, people don't care about numbers. They want clarity, honesty, and empathy. Unfortunately, during this event, many technical experts failed to show that. They delayed speaking up, used technical jargon, and failed to emotionally connect with the public. And the result? Fear, panic, and loss of trust. In a crisis, poor communication can be just as dangerous as the event itself. So, how can we do better? How can engineers communicate risk effectively, not just accurately? Here are 4 key strategies we propose. First, use simple language and visual aids. Don't overcomplicate. Use diagrams, infographics, and everyday terms. Talk like you were explaining to your own family. 2. Hold frequent public briefings. Keep the public updated, even if you don't have all the answer yet. Tell them what is known, what is being done, and when is the next update. 3. Leverage multi-channel communication. Social media, SMS, alert, official websites, use them all. Misinformation spread fast, so we have to be faster. Promote transparency and accountability. Admit when things go wrong. Be honest. Even if the truth is hard, the public respects accountability, not silence. As future engineers, we need to practice not just what we say, but how we say it. Our words can calm a community or shake it further. Next, let's talk about something we often take for granted: standards. The gas pipeline in Putra Heights was installed according to safety standard. It was buried 5.6 meters deep, technically correct. But here's the shocking truth. Standards didn't save anyone. Why? Because standards often give a false sense of security, focus too much on checklists, and ignore evolving real-world risks. In this case, several dynamic factors were not covered by SOPs. Soil thermal conductivity from nearby construction, ground vibration from machinery, and long-term material fatigues from environment stress. So, yes, Standardization is important, but if we treat it as the finish line, we miss emerging danger that exists outside the robot. That's why we say standards should be the floor, not the ceiling. Even though the pipeline followed all the rules on paper, the explosion still happened. So we need to ask, what did the SOPs miss? First, real-time monitoring. There were no sensors to detect temperature changes, vibrations, or unauthorized excavation. Second, soil thermal properties. Heat transfer from the environment and surrounding activity, like nearby sewage work, can stress pipelines, even if they are buried deep. Third, soil movement. The clearance between pipelines may have followed standards, but dynamic ground shifts made it unsafe anyway. The truth is, the SOPs were designed for static environments, but we live in a dynamic world, and in Putra Heights, that mismatch between standard and reality costs lives and homes. So, how do we move forward? We need to complement existing standards with real-time tech and ethical engineering culture. Here's how. IoT-enabled sensors to detect excavation, heat changes, and vibration instantly. Preventive ethics. Engineers must be empowered to act beyond outdated SOPs, not just follow them blindly. Transparent reporting, so workers can flag potential risks without red tape. Collaborative risk modeling, involving universities and researchers to help design smarter, safer infrastructure. Standards give us structure, but innovation gives us protection. In the future, our pipelines should not only meet regulations, they should anticipate risks, adapt and warn us before something goes wrong. After the Putra Heights explosion, trust was shaken. People felt unsafe, even in their homes. To rebuild public confidence, engineers must do more than just repairs. We need to show safety oversight in high-risk zones, proper utility mapping, and transparent communication when things go wrong. We must demonstrate that engineers are not just behind the scenes, but standing with the community. Engineering isn't just about numbers, it's about human lives, and we must protect those lives with integrity, openness, and courage. If we want long-term change, it starts with the next generation. We need to inspire young people to become not just smart engineers, but ethical ones. That means STEM programs that focus on disaster prevention and ethics, not just technical theory. Mentorships with real engineers who can show the emotional and professional challenges of the job. School-based workshops to teach kids about gas safety, emergency response, and infrastructure awareness. We must promote engineering not just as a profession that builds things, but one that protects lives. To conclude, the Putra Heights gas explosion wasn't just an accident. It was the result of leadership that failed to act, communication that failed to reach, and standards that failed to evolve. As engineers, our job is not just to design, but to lead, communicate, and protect. We must be brave enough to speak up, smart enough to innovate, and humble enough to listen to the people we serve. Thank you for your attention. This case reminds us that behind every pipeline, every SOP, every technical drawing are human lives. Let us honor the people of Putra Heights by becoming the kind of engineer who never wait for a disaster to remind us of what we should have done. Thank you.